So apparently Assassin's Creed Red currently have players playtesting the game as we speak. And if you haven't been keeping up with the latest in news and leaks, we're going to be talking about it in this video. And what I'm hearing has me both excited and worried. Let's talk about it. What's up everybody, it's your boy Saga bringing you awesome fast information regarding all things PlayStation gaming. If you enjoy content that respects your time, hit the like button to get this video out to other gaming fans. But if you didn't, drop a dislike so I know exactly where to improve. So yeah, about a year and a half ago or so, we got a trailer for the upcoming Assassin's Creed Red that's under the Assassin's Creed Infinity umbrella. It showed a 30-second trailer of a really cool ninja jumping around the city, giving off something like Sekiro or even Ghost of Tsushima vibes, and it was a really awesome trailer. Since then, we haven't really seen anything about the game, as we know the game was and still is under development. Now recently, we did get some new information from a alleged playtester who had been playing the game for some time, and I wanted to go over that in this video. Keep in mind though, I know a few creators from the Ubisoft partner program, and as far as I know, what they've shared with me is there's no information as of now that gives us an indication of any new news or anything about Assassin's Creed Red. Typically before the launch or anything of any major things happening with that said game, Ubisoft give partners some way of like signing up for major events. So as of making this video now, we don't necessarily have anything pertaining to Assassin's Creed Red. But that said, that doesn't mean the leaks could be wrong or not wrong. It's very unlikely that partners will get like internal testing information. I just kind of want to point that out for context, but yeah. Anyway, the recent leaks we got were over on Reddit detailing some interesting information about the game. Now I wanted to point out a handful of things that kind of stuck out to me. With that in mind, I do want to point out when reading some of the stuff in the article, the fact that he did say that he would be breaking NDA if he specifically talked about certain things versus what he talked about in the game. I do want to be very clear, as someone who is very familiar with the partner program for Ubisoft, the things that were said in this Reddit post 110% breaks the NDA. It doesn't break it, it absolutely shatters it. So it does seem a little weird that he wasn't willing to answer some of the questions that he perceives to be under NDA and what he said wasn't under NDA, because any mention of anything, especially the story which he talked about, 110% breaks the NDA. So I do want to say that before we jump on in. So yeah, but here is some of the more outstanding things that I wanted to talk about that was interesting to me. The story takes place between 1450 and 1470, and there's two significant time jumps shown as cutscenes. This is pretty common in pretty much any Assassin's Creed game I've ever played, where there's like two time jumps. An event happens between the main protagonist and the antagonist. There's something that happens, they get spared, they get away, something like that, very generic. And then it comes back a couple of years later, usually like 10 to 20 years later, where the person is an adult and they're able to fend for themselves or gain more experience. Very common thing in this style of game, but again, this is what the leaker is saying is happening. That's not necessarily credibility, but yeah, just something I'd like to point out. Now moving on down to the parkour section, he was given information on the parkour system, and from what I can tell, it seems like it's going to be better than the last 4 games. And while not confirmed, it's supposed to be on the level of Unity. He said that he was able to go through a very densely populated city within the game, and he was able to pretty much climb through the entire city without touching the ground. One very interesting thing about this was you can use a grappling hook for parkour and climbing, but since you're not able to climb on anything and everything anymore. Now that's a very specific thing that's always been a part of Assassin's Creed as far as I can remember. You can just climb on anything, and they look like they're moving away from the ability to climb on everything and using a grappling hook system. Now I'm not sure if that's an engine thing or just a design choice they want to go with, or maybe it's easier on the engine if you can't just jump on everything and you just climb on specific parts. I'm not sure. This one seems like a very concerning thing to me, at least, because I think one of the best parts of Assassin's Creed has been the freedom to parkour just short of anywhere. So again, I would take this with a grain of salt because this seems like a pretty drastic change, but you never know. They could be trying to shake it up a bit. Now this may be a little bit closer to spoilery, but again, you're going to be playing as 2 characters, and in order for you to swap between 2 characters, you have to go up to the hideout specifically in order to switch between those characters. I never played Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but he says that the dual protagonist system is not exactly like Syndicate. No clue what that means because again, I haven't played it. I'm assuming that game has 2 protagonists. Maybe someone down in the comments can let me know how that works, or I'll go look at it after this video. But yeah, it looks like it's not going to be like that system, but we will have 2 characters. With that in mind, we also heard that the tester said that Ubisoft himself wanted to keep the game a little bit more grounded. The person who actually got the information made the note that it seems like they said that with Valhalla, but that didn't necessarily happen. With the fact that they're introducing a grappling hook, hypothetically introducing a grappling hook, there's a very good chance that this could be the case, because it does look like they're cutting down on the parkour and trying to make it more grounded. It could just be them trying something new, which there's a very likely a good chance it could be the case. But again, taking it with a grain of salt. There is no motion capture seen so far, but there's still an overall improvement over the last 4 games. I think the last motion cap game was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it was Odyssey. And that game has really phenomenal cutscenes. I'm sure the other ones had some elements of it, but heavily motion captured was at least Assassin's Creed Odyssey to my understanding. He did say so far, so again, there's not like a confirmation of there's none or some. It just says so far in which he has actively seen. There is also no transmog or New Game Plus until post-launch. Now, this makes a lot of sense. I know gaming companies really love the whole post-launch, we're doing stuff to make the game better thing. We recently just got, New Game Plus on Marvel Spider-Man 2, so, post-launch New Game Plus is usually a pretty good selling point to kind of reboost revenue or reboost interest in the game. And not having a transmog, while I wouldn't say like is healthy in my opinion to the game, it is something that would bring interest back into the game if, they added a transmog system, because that's something I and a lot of players really enjoy. So again, while I don't think they would not have a no transmog in the game, there's a very good chance that it doesn't release with it, because again, you know how game studios are these days. And finally, I don't want this video to be too long, so you can kind of read this down in the description if you want to go read some of the stuff. They said that the game is releasing in October. They didn't say necessarily 2024, 2025. I'm assuming 2024 because they didn't specify. The last Assassin's Creed Mirage was released in October the 12th. So this does kind of align with it. I will say though, when Assassin's Creed Mirage came out, there was the ability to actually sign up to get early access to it. I believe about 4 weeks before the launch of the game. So I will have information on this. I'll know ahead of October. I'm not gonna like leak anything specifically, but I'll know it's to be true maybe after the fact that this was correct. I will say again, a lot of things don't necessarily match up, and that could be because, he doesn't have all the information. His notes probably wasn't good. I would again always take everything with a grain of salt, but I wouldn't completely dismiss it because a lot of it does make a lot of sense to me. Either way, regardless of if any of this is true or not, I'm looking forward to playing Assassin's Creed Red, as the theme of the game to some degree remind me of Sekiro and Ghost of Tsushima, but we'll have to see just how true these leaks are. Speaking of leaks, the video on screen now goes over the once leaked Marvel Rivals that was revealed recently, and it looks really damn good. Check it out.